Hello, hello. Let's see. So, today I thought that I would just improve some stuff in the code, I think. Because it's... I'm just gonna go through a little bit and do some maintenance, I think. One thing that I would want to do is add a input state that we will look at instead of these functions, because we have it's a bit scattered around the way we handle input. So I think what I want to do is I want to have a sort of input state. Now, yeah, and then left stick is stick state. We could have it for right stick as well. Now, how I want this to be is that the input state is going to be added as a singleton. And then we can grab it out like this, input state. And this would be maybe in C or S or L. I'm not really sure. Let's put it here. Input state. All right. All right. Okay, so now we move the left stick into there. Right, everything is on the input state now. Alright, we also need to add the input state to our singletons. Let's add it somewhere. I'm just gonna add it over here. There we go. Okay. So the idea is that these functions, I want to move them to that. So I'm gonna take all these, move them into here. Now basically all of these, I'm gonna say, so we'll have function and then a bunch of things, parentheses. We'll capture that. Wait. Oh. There we go. Capture function space. All right, now we can add a parameter that is gonna be the self input state. All right. Yeah, okay, fine. All right, so now we have, yeah. Okay, so the idea is that you would, like, let's say two systems want to check, okay, I want to check if this button is pressed. But if we have one system that is looking at the button press, I basically want that to be sort of consumed so that the next system won't take that button input and look at that and say, okay, we can still use that in the same frame, basically. So I want to say, so basically the purpose is that one button press won't trigger multiple sort of actions based on it. We just want one action to be done for each button press. So what I'll do is I'll create this config here. So we'll have left, right, jump, jump continuously. So this would only be for all the edge detected cases. So left and right. I mean, I guess we don't really have edge for those. Maybe jump we do. Okay, we'll go through all that has pressed here. So attack. Activate, of course, which was the one that was causing problems. Debug. Menu. Hello, Polaris. Have a nice day. Thank you. Is gamepad button press menu input on? So menu. I guess we'll add debug as well. Okay. So this is jump input on? I mean, we can just return now. Return self.jump. I think what we want to have is we want to have two functions. One that is it on, which just returns. Another one would be consume. So we'll take the state, or is pressed, return that, and then we'll set this to false. And then we'll have another function that will return if jump input is on or not, based on like raylib. Okay. And in this case, this needs to be mutable. There we go. All right, and then we'll have like an update function. That will go through all of these. So this will happen like once at the beginning of each frame. And so we'll check for jump. So, well, first of all, we want to set everything to false. Because it's supposed to be like edge detected. All right, and then we'll check if raw jump input well, actually we can just say raw jump input because it has the edge detection with like built into raylib there. All right, now we'll just do the same thing for the other ones. So attack, raw attack input. Oops. Consume attack input. Attack. Yeah, same for activate. Consume activate input. Activate, there we go. And oh yeah, public. What else? Debug. I'll do this. Raw debug input. All right. climbing, up, down, menu. Yeah, menu could also have. The raw functions don't need these. Well, I guess we can do this so that we can. Actually, no, because it's only gonna be used internally, so it doesn't really matter. Everything that is public, we wanna have self, but I guess this needs to be, yeah, everything needs to be public except the raw. And down and up. So down and up. It's interesting. In the UI, it should actually be consumed, I think. Yeah. All right. Handle input. So yeah, we do need input state here. So actually, here we wanna consume it. So is menu input on is equal to input state dot consume. Yeah, and then we'll use that instead. We could really do this actually. Input state is climb input on, is climb up input on, is climb down input on. Is duck input on? I guess technically this would be less optimized because now we're, well, I guess it depends on how SIG optimizes it, but because we know it's a constant and it can put it at where it's needed instead of, but is right input on, jump input on. Okay, now is attack input on is actually consumed. Is focus continuously on? I mean, I guess technically this could also be what? Well, whatever. Missing field, jump. Oh. So we'll just set them all to false. There we go. Now we also need to update this. Oops. So update input. We update there. This could be moved. There. Y-axis, x-axis. Oh yeah. Yeah, that should, I mean, fine. So we're updating it and then handling it there, yeah. And the dialog system should happen after now. So let's put it over here with the quest system. So now the order doesn't matter for the dialog system. It's gonna consume. Well, it's gonna be looking at a different thing right now. We have to make it so that the dialog system actually uses the input state now instead. Because the UI has its own sort of accept button, cancel input, you know, we have to basically move this into the input state now. So let's do that. What's all this? Draw list. Oh. Is that the only input related stuff? Yeah. Is accept input pressed? Is accepting is cancel pressed? So I guess cancel is the only thing we don't really have here from those two. So raw activate, and we'll add one here, which is raw cancel input. And then we'll add these two. There. And we'll add a cancel state as well. Oh yeah, we have to do these. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, we don't need self here. That's right. There we go. All right. If is up input pressed. So yeah, we have a state here which handles the edge case, so this should also be changed here. Where is this defined? Oh, it's in on the player. It's on the actual thing here. So we don't really need this anymore, I don't think. Let's just remove this. Which is very good, very nice. And we don't need to do this. Alright. What we do need here is we need to grab the input state. And let's see, we will need to consume the cancel button. also need up. Don't need to check this. All right. And up and down as well. Consume up input, which we don't have yet, but we'll add it. And down. Now we probably wanna, instead of having all these functions, we could make it into an enum instead, which makes a lot of sense. So let's do that actually, while we're maintaining stuff and stuff. So let's just make an input type maybe. And we'll add also up and down. Okay, and then here we'll say edges, which will be an enum field struct. No, wait. Now this would be like a map. Auto array hash map. Yeah, let's make it an array so we can iterate if you want. Auto array hash map. This is gonna be input type to a bool. It's unmanaged. Well, we really just wanna instantiate it with everything, I guess. Maybe we can use this, but then we need an allocator. It could also be just a, I guess it could be sort of an array, or yeah, it could just be, couldn't it just be like an array with the length of this? What's this? Oh. Okay, and then what you do is you say function get edge or is pressed. You get self and then input type bool, and then we return self edges enum to, or int from enum input type, right? And then set is pressed input type is pressed, except it, well, it might be able to be named is pressed. And then we just say, well, this needs to be mutable, and then we say is pressed. Right? Yeah, it can't be named that, okay. And we don't return. There we go. Right, and now instead of all these different consume functions, we have pub function consume is pressed with the input type like this. I mean, this could be public, but the set is pressed is not public. All right. We still need like the raw things there though. Right, so now we don't have these consume functions anymore. So consume menu input is consumed is pressed dot menu instead. All right, so those are sort of the edge types. I'm just thinking about if we want to also have the other ones. Oh well, let's just. Well, actually, here we do want to have self set is pressed, and I will go. We have to go through like all of the things. Let's make them into like. This, okay. Alphabetical order. Also, I think you can do this. You can do sort. Yeah. Now in the update, we want to set is pressed and start with or activate. Is pressed is going to be raw activate input. Yeah, so we just do these ones. Debug. Down. Wait. Oh, we don't have it. Okay. Oops. Jump. Menu. Alright, yeah, because we still need like all these functions have like specialized, ways of handling each case. So we still need to get those. I mean, this might change in the future if we want to have like a more generic way of handling this and having like you can remap the bindings and stuff, but it should be good for now. Alright, so we have is up input on. Yeah. So this would be raw up input and raw down input. I guess we'll hardcode the dead zone here. Okay. Yeah. Now we're populating all those in the update function. But now we don't have to have separate fields. We only have like one. Well, we have to have these up here, but we don't have separate fields here, and we only have one function each for these different purposes for the edge cases here. So that's a lot nicer to deal with there. Okay, and then now in the UI system. Right, so we'll do consume is pressed, activate consume is pressed dot cancel, consume is pressed dot up, and consume down. There we go. And now this one is not even used, so we can remove that. Very nice. Okay, so it's cancel input press. So here we actually need the input state as well. But we do have register here, so we can simply add it. This, all right, and then we'll say, yeah, this will be consumed as well. So input state consume cancel. Okay. Let's fix the rest here. Is down input on? Wait, did I mess this up? Oh yeah, that's right. These are not for edge detections. That's right. But we do have the left stick stuff. Okay, let's bring back the dead zone. Oh yeah, what we could do is, I mean, up here, we can just stick that zone here. That should be fine. Oops. And we will add is up input on. So this will be for the continuous. Or wait. Yeah, this is for continuous, yeah. Wait. No, I'm messing things up here. So is up import. Let's remove this. Wait. Right, and now we have climb and down. This should use raw up input and raw down input. There we go. And here we also have raw down input. They should also be consumed. Wait, but we're consuming, so jump is the same as cancel. So we should consume the same button, not action. Oh man. So there should be a mapping layer in between here. So we'll do left or right face up, left, down, right. Now we also have left. Okay, now we'll map this to, and then we have like, I guess, select and start, and the R and L buttons. All right, let's, that should be fine. And here's the sort of action types, I guess, which then is going to be mapped to one of these. And I guess technically we could separate accept and activate here if we want. Now we need edges for, so edges, we need these for the like raw edges is gonna be for the raw input type. And then edges is gonna be for the sort of action inputs types. So now we have to go through all the raw stuff and set those. And yeah, but this should actually go through and set the raw edges and not the edges themselves, I think. So I don't think we need to store these edges here. Actually, what we do want is we want some sort of mapping between the input type to raw input type. So how would that, so actually maps, we'll have a map here from the input type to raw input type. And I guess we'll map it. I guess this will be sort of the default map here. So this is the actual input. This is the list. Oops. So activate would be right face right. Accept this right face right as well. Cancel this right face down. Debug is right face up, I think. Down is, well, down is left face down. Jump is right face down. Menu is start. Up is left face up. Okay. So those are sort of the, now we're mapping basically, you know, the action to the key here, or the, I guess this is also only for the gamepad, but I mean, this could technically be seen as sort of a generic input as well. Like you only count one, I guess, device maybe, I don't know. I mean, we could have a list, I guess. We could have like slices of raw input types, and you would have like a list that's gonna be mapped to several. But yeah, let's start here and we'll figure it out later. Technically we could extend it to have lists and use that, but as it, because then I guess if it's a list, it's harder to change. We probably want it to be sort of a array list in that case, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, because then if we make it in the array list, we don't initialize it here. We initialize it in sort of an init function with where we get the allocator and stuff. Okay, but anyway, so now we have that. Now we can map from input type to raw input type. And we can say is pressed. It's not gonna look at edges. We're gonna look at raw input type is equal to self map int from enum input type. Right, that's the raw input type. And then we're gonna look at, then we're gonna return self.isRaw pressed raw input type. Okay, so kind of, you know, channeling back to the raw pressed, because now when you consume, let's say activate, it's also gonna assume the accept action because it's mapped to the same button. Well, we'll try this out and see how it works. But I think it's good to do this anyway because it's gonna be supporting sort of mapping as well. And it's good to have one place where you keep all the input stuff anyway. So let's see, set is pressed yeah, so the same thing here. We're gonna get the raw input type, and we're gonna set is raw pressed. Raw input type is pressed. There we go. We're not gonna return. And then consume is pressed already uses these functions, so we don't need to change that. Okay. Right, so is jump input on? So this is the edge detection. So actually we should just remove this. And here we should say consume is pressed jump. And then we will remove this function. We can basically remove all these functions. We don't need them. Like the edge detected, like is thing on. There. All right. Now this part is a bit weird now, because the raw stuff we need to basically map. We need to have raw be more, I guess, generic. We could say let's actually do raw input on, and we'll get a raw input type. Now we have to switch on that. Oops. And check what it's. No. Oh. There we go. Okay, and this is gonna be like this, right? And we just need to sort of map all these to their respective things. So for example, up, we have somewhere raw up input, right? I guess it's only for the well, we can include a stick thing. I mean, wait, no, this is right face up. left face up I'm talking about. So basically baking in the keyboard here, W, and also left face up on the digital or the analog, no, the D-pad, and then also here's the stick for as well for the up thing. However, this is not the edge detection though. This is the continuous one. No, sure. So it should be pressed W or pressed this, or left stick is up pressed. Right, and then it's just a matter of filling this in here. Now I realize this is kind of weird. This is not like how it's supposed to be in the end. We probably want to have like, you know, this is only for the game. This should only be for, these should only be for like the gamepad. And then we'll have separate ones for the keyboard as well. Right. Wait, down is S. There we go. All right. We don't have anything for select. I guess we'll just keep it there. Now all these like raw jump input and stuff, they should be changed now really. Right face down, so right face down is over here. Well, they should be sort of deleted, I think. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Attack. Activate. Right face right. Cancel. Alright, so cancel we already basically have. Let's just remove this. Debug, right face up. menu. Middle right. Oh, it's called middle right. Okay. Fine. And so, I mean, set is pressed. We don't really... We probably want to go through all the inputs now instead. I mean, and if you really want to optimize, you could technically have a list, a cached list of the ones that you... only the ones that you want to, like, query. But it's like, it doesn't... I don't think that's really a huge deal. I was prematurely optimizing in my head there. I mean, you probably don't want to maybe go through all of the keyboard keys. I don't know. But maybe this is not that bad then. We can just go through all the actions and map them directly. Because we do have their maps. So we could just say raw input on. And actually, we probably need a function now to map it. So, I mean, we could just use this, but I mean, it's nice to have a function. So, raw input type from, and we need you, and we need input type. No, normal input type, and we get a raw input type. And we'll just return self, raw edges. In from input type. There we go. Okay, and then here we say raw input on, self raw input type from, activate. So actually, now this is like fully generic. So what we could do is we could just say inline 4, and then tags of input type. And then we can just do set is pressed tag get raw input type tag, and we don't need to do anything here. All right, cool. Expected to run this one. Oh yeah, self dot. Yeah. There we go. No thing name middle right. Expected raw input type from bool. Oh, this should be map. That's right. Yeah, and we don't map here because we already have it. That's not what we're doing here. I don't know what I was thinking there. There we go. Non-void. Okay, so yeah, we have the triggers to do here. Trigger 1 is used over here. But this is not edge detected though, but I guess we can create one. And I guess we can fill these in. All right. Okay. So, now one thing that we need to change also is how these are handled. So, let's check this here. This is like the old update function. So update input, this, the purpose of this function is to update all the, well, the states of the left stick, to have basically those be able to be edge detected here. So we can just use, well, we do need to store this edge state somewhere because we cannot use Raylib because they don't have that. So we still need to do this, but I think what we'll do is we'll change this function to be, well, let's see. Now we'll break this out. I think we'll break this part out here into a function over here, which will be update. I'll just name it left stick. This is the only one that we're interested in. Right. And so now we can call this from here instead. All right. And I mean, I guess we can move this into here. So we're clearing the pressed state out. Then we're sort of setting it all the way down here. Let's see, and then we're going through all of our sort of actions, you could say action types, and setting them if they are pressed or not based on the, but now at this point now we can use the state from the left stick here. All right. And so for example over here we have left stick is up pressed. Now these should all be populated nicely. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do here? Right, so let's fix a couple of places here now. You don't need this. You don't need you anymore. There we go. And hopefully this will solve the issue as well that we were having with the inputs, like activating multiple things at in the same frame. Simply because of the order of operations. Now each input is like consumed when used for an action, so it won't trigger multiple actions in the same frame. Okay, so UI is accept input pressed, so we have registry here, so we can get the input state. We'll say consume. Wait. Consume is pressed, yes. Consume is pressed, accept. Why is this not yellow? Okay, whatever. And here we have cancel. There we go. Much better, I think. Yeah, using the enum there is really, really nice. And very optimal as well in the storage, I would say. Okay, that was all the things. So the issue that we were having, basically when you started a conversation with an NPC, it auto-completed the first page of the dialogue, so that it was instantly like completed, because you had pressed the accept button as well as the like activate button. Well, it was the same button, and since it happened all in the same frame and in the order of operations that they were, then the dialogue was completed immediately. But now we can see the dialogue is not completed immediately. You can see that it's playing out here. So before it was kind of like this. It immediately set it to be like this. But now, also another thing about this is it fixes a whole bunch of issues that we had. If you go to the quest log, I press cancel. Nothing happens because why? Okay. Wait. Why? Oh, oops. Not here. What? Wait, where's the quest system? Or is it the menu, maybe? Cancelled. Oh, you know what? This might be because multiple systems are consuming it, even though they're not using it, I guess. No, that shouldn't make sense. Yeah, because if we go to input, here's handle input. So it's like if menu is on, we shouldn't actually do anything else here. We should just exit. Let's see. If menu is on, or if the menu input is on, right, this is just checking if we should open the menu here. And if we are open, we check if we should exit the menu. If we should, then we do that. Okay, and then we return. That's fine. So why wouldn't we do that? Right, current menu is the quest log. And here we're checking for the state. Oh. No, if we have an open state quest, we do this one. Otherwise, we do this one. And so for some reason, cancel here is not consumed, or it's always not on. Let's check. Oh wait, you know what? It might be because of the mapping is wrong. I think I added accept, but maybe I'd never mapped it. Yes, I did. Activate, attack, accept, cancel, debug down, jump, menu up. Yeah. And it's right face right, so it's the same as no, it's right face down. Let's double check the thing here. Space or pressed face down. Yes. Let's see. The jump works. And the cancel in the dialogue works, but it doesn't work in the menu. Like I can't even press start to exit the menu. So the menu is open. Oh wait, this should be accept. That's right. Accept, cancel, up, down. And I realize if some of those are mapped to the same thing, it's gonna be an issue. But I mean, if you're mapping these to the same button, then you're doing something wrong. Okay. So does it mean that all of these are always like false? Okay, I need to BRB a little bit. I'll be right back. So I guess we could check if this is called anywhere else. This is all in this function here. We've got in the menu, well, that's quest details, so we don't even go in there. Dialogue system, we shouldn't even be in. Input, yeah, because this is happening if you have an active dialogue. So let's see, menu, dialogue, UI. Oh yeah, we are consuming jump here, but that's like before we even do the menu stuff, so it shouldn't actually be a problem. We're doing the menu stuff right at the start here. Sorry, just checking a couple of things there. Okay. So why is this not working anymore? is happening? I mean, okay, let's just start trying to log out some stuff. Length is 0. So length is, I think that's the number of, yeah, that's the number of items here. So we don't have any items, so we are going in here. And so we're checking if this is pressed here. So I'm guessing that it's always, you know, it's always false for some reason. And I do believe that I have somewhere where you can press, you can actually press start to get out as well. Where did I have that? Maybe that was in the quest details menu. Or maybe not. Oh wait, maybe that is in the main function here. Right, we're consuming if the menu button is pressed. If it's pressed, we close it here. Yeah. We should probably move this into, yeah, we should move this functionality into the menu thing. We should have it like this. We should see if the menu is open, we handle it. If the menu is open, we handle it. Wait, am I just stupid here? I think we should just return here. We're not returning if we're not exiting. In turn means no, we should, that should still work. Okay, but anyway, we should definitely return. Just if the menu is open, we should just return. If the menu is no, wait a minute. Let's go back here because it's the pause thing as well. It's the pause thing. But what if we return here? Because we should definitely return. We don't need to do anything else down here. But at this point, the cancel button should already be consumed. So nothing down here should actually do anything, you know. Yeah, that was not the problem. I mean, even the menu button doesn't work anymore because a pressed menu is consumed here, and then is it because it's paused or something? This is just setting this to true. I don't understand how that would affect things, really. Like the way this is set up, this function should always be called from the main update function here. Yeah. And this function should also be called. Yeah, I'm actually, I don't really know why this is happening. But let's do this. Let's say when we enter, wait. Okay, let's actually just log here. Exiting menu. I'm pretty sure we're not getting in here, but let's just see if we get a log out. Right, so I entered the menu, I pressed the button. Yeah, it's not even going in here. It's so weird because the inputs work perfectly like outside of the menu. As soon as the menu is open here, like it even works for the dialogues. Actually, this can remove this now. Activate dialogue, yeah, and then active dialogue. We grab the state. We use it to check. Accept, cancel and stuff, and it all works. But for the menu, it doesn't work. I don't know. I don't understand. We don't go in here, which is confusing as well. I guess what we could do is say if menu is open, I want to log out. I am here. Like, is there something happening at the end here that we need to do? I don't think so. Like, all this is for the player. I should probably move this into a separate function, actually. All right. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this. Activation target. What? Oh. Alright, I just wanted to move that out so that the handle input was a little bit more manageable. And we should move this into the menu system as well. But we should also add if play component menu is open, then we also return. So let's go to menu. Don't we have an update function here? Oh, maybe I should just pass the game around instead of register. I don't know. Also, why do I need to pass T if I already have game? Alright. Now I need to add this to here somewhere. There we go. Right. Wait, what the? What is this? Oh. I see. I found the issue. Okay, so we have special handling for this. So I don't... Okay. Right. I think this is because we want it to be paused. But if we want to handle it... Oh my god, okay. Right. So we want the menu system here. Okay, let's use the menu system update. And then we return. We also, well, we don't really want to. We don't need to call this. What we need to call is update input. Wait, what's... Yeah. Oh my god, okay. That was the issue. We have like, yeah, because the game is paused. So we don't want to run all these different systems. We only run the menu system, I guess, and the input system. Or I guess the update input and the menu system. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, this makes a little bit more sense now, I guess. Yeah, sure, fine. Alright, let's try again. Handle input. You only need game. Alright, this all works. Okay, now we can exit. There we go. And now, okay, so what I was gonna show before all that was that the refactoring we did now actually fixed a bunch of issues at the same time. So one thing, for example, is when we activate, we use this. This is mapped to the same button that activates the lens here. So, but when we activate I guess the activate button is a bit different because the activate is actually mapped to the lens, but the activate gets consumed now instead. So we don't, before when we talked to NPCs, it actually activated also the lens thing, at the same time, but now it doesn't do that. Okay, great. And also when you cancel out, that's the same button as the jump button. So when the dialogue system was moved in order that it was like above the sort of handle input system or the player input system, when you cancel in the same frame, the dialogue is cancelled, but then the code for the jumping activated, and the player would jump because the edge state for the jump was like always was still in effect. So the player would jump in the same frame as we like. Each time you cancel, it would actually cause a jump. The same thing happened when you are in the menu, and if you press cancel, the player jumped. But now that issue has been fixed. So yeah, this refactoring actually is like fixed a whole bunch of these issues, which is really nice. And yeah, we still have some quirks going on with the collisions here, but well, I guess it's more of the how we need a new type of ledge, basically, or I want a ledge here that, you know, the classic sort of thing that you can jump through, up through. Like if you see here, we can't actually jump up here. I want this to be a different sort of thing in the environment where you can jump up through. And oh, why is the animation playing when you're climbing like all the time? Oh, I never noticed that. I think I want to change that to only play when you actually climb. Anyway, so yeah, so I want it to be sort of you can jump up through it and jump like, but if you come from up top, you're gonna like yeah, land on it like this, and you can press down to go down, of course. But so that means that when you jump from here, you don't get like pushed away because there's like a solid block. So how we solve it now is like while you're climbing, you're actually sort of ethereal almost. You can like collide through anything. So you can climb through a solid block like this. But if you exit the jump while in the solid block, you get pushed out like this. Alright, anyway, I'm not gonna, you know, fix that right now, but it was just something that I noticed here. Okay, so let's just test this. Do you want gems? Okay, accept the quest. Here we have the quest. I'm just gonna test the buttons here. Yeah, so that all works. Okay. Alright, now I want to also, yeah, the thing we did last time, I just want to refresh my memory here. So we did like buttons as well. Let's go up here. Now this is the room where you get the lens thing. And so here you can see an example of the target system. Like now this is targeted, so I can press A to activate the button because it's like in my target, like activation radius here, or activation area. And I can press again. If I press over here, nothing happens. Then I instead activate this lens thing instead. But if I activate this one, it won't activate the lens thing. Instead it will activate the button here. And if I would have like an NPC, other things that you can activate, then the target of activation is going to be the closest center point to the player's center point. Okay, so let's see. I guess we could sort of have a logical puzzle with buttons only. And that will sort of, you know, not require you to have the lens focus beam. So let's say you press a button that, oh yeah, you can have the classic like pressing one button activates like multiple toggles, and you press another button it activates like a different set of. That's just I always thought that those kind of puzzle was like annoying, where you had like a large grid of toggle things, and when you stand in like the middle of it, or you go to one of the cells and you activate it, it toggles the ones that are like up, down, left, right, and in the middle. And so then you have to find a way to sort of activate all of them. I always thought that was like super annoying puzzle, and I never really I mean, yeah, it's one of those puzzles where it's not really coming natural to me. It's just annoying to deal with. So I'm probably not gonna have the puzzle. I mean, I see it how it's easy to implement. It's very easy to just do that. But yeah. All right. What do we want to do now, though? I guess I'll just go through a little bit and see what we can improve. So really nice to get the input system working better now. The player input function is pretty wild. It's like, what, it starts at 289 and ends at 528. I guess it makes sense when you want to have like a lot of things, you know, you want to be able to do a lot of things. I mean, there is a bit of the thing with the combo system, but it's not that much though. The climbing thing is actually one of the more complicated things. We could break stuff out into functions as well, I guess. Like this part, just to make it a little bit more, you know, easy to scroll through, I guess. Oh man, the whole player stuff as well. Yeah, we should probably make this into like generic sort of functions that you can call somehow to affect all of these at the same time, because most of the time they wanna be the same. I mean, we could do it so that you don't have to set all of these here. You just set player action, and then we set these in. Yeah, that makes sense. Because we already have a place where we actually update the animation. I think it is the animation system. No. Wait, where is it? Where do we set? Okay, let's go to game update. Yeah, so over here somewhere. No. Or is it the player? Oh, this one. Yeah, so over here. So here we are setting the positions of every of these things. We should also set the direction as well. Wait, the direction. Yeah. No. Why did it? Right, so we're just setting it here every frame, so that should be fine. So now we don't need to set it separately here. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any more places here. And now these are not even used, so we can just remove them. Okay, very nice. I guess this part we can also move up here. Bunch of checks to see if we should skip the handle input, and then we don't need you here. Move these things up there. So technically here, for example, we can have a thing called like handle combo. I'm just checking if there's anything else with combo here. I guess we technically already have, like, we have handle combo input, but what I was thinking is having like if and then handle combo input is like its own thing. I will put these things in here. Now if this is true, it means that okay, we need to sort of return. So we'll just return. But if it's false, that means we shouldn't handle it, I guess. But here we're setting if the input is on and we're not attacking, we enter the combo state and return. Right. But that should really be in here. Like all of this should be in that function actually. Oh, I see. It already returns like if it should quit the combo thing or not. What I wanted to return is like if for up here, like should it execute the player input or not. That makes this function a lot easier. We'll just do this. We'll go in here and we'll do these things. So if we are in the combo state, actually if we're not in the combo state, we should just return, I guess. No, if we're not in the combo state, we need to check if we, yeah, we need to do this. Yeah. So if we're not at the combo, we're checking, okay, should we go into combo state? If we do, then we do all this and then we return because because we wanna then next frame. Wait, is this like an edge detection? No. Alright, because we're holding the combo button, that's right. So we don't really need to return actually. We can still keep going here. Well, let's return just in case. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so we're checking if we're not in combo, we check if we are going to enter the combo mode. So let's also check if the state is not equal to attacking. In that case, we can players. Okay, this is a bit different convention here, but I guess it's fine. There we go. So if the state is not attack and the combo input is on, we enter combo mode, we return. So next frame we still check if the combo input is on. If the combo input is on, we should exit combo mode. Also, this can be an error somehow. Try combos append. Overflow. Well, I'm probably gonna scrap this whole thing anyway, but I just wanna, practice the coding a little bit as well. So let's see. Should quick combo. Okay, so okay, we need to rethink this out. So if we're not in combo, we check to enter the combo, right? And if we are in combo, we need to start doing these things down here. So that's basically what we're doing over here. But what we're not maybe doing is setting the sequence to 0 if we have an error. So what we could do is we could just say error defer, and we could say play component state combo sequence. Length 0, or I guess player. And yeah, that's basically it. And if the combo is if the combo is cancelled here, we should also set the thing to 0, right? Or no, maybe not. No. That's, we should keep the combo going so we can see if we should execute the combo. That's right. Yeah, because we're checking here if the launch input is on. Where is it? Yeah, here. If the launch input is on, we match the sequence here. Yeah. But where do we clear the combo though? Where are we clearing it? Right, we're clearing it when we enter, so... But we should also clear it when it's consumed, right? Right, I guess, okay, yeah, I guess, well, no. Or maybe it's happening in here. No, this just matches it. Set state. Right, we're setting the state to something else, so we're losing the whole combo state, actually. Right, so here is where it actually ends up consuming it, you could say. Okay. So, right. Let's move this up here. So if the combo input is on, if it's not on, then we return false, because yeah, that means we, so returns true if player input should not be processed, or returns true if in combo mode, I guess. So here we exit combo, so that's false. This should return true. Okay, because that's entering the combo, we return true, we skip the rest of the player input. Next frame, we're still in combo mode. Then we go down here, we check, okay, are we exiting combo mode? Then we return false. Then we're doing a whole bunch of stuff over here. And at the end, we return false because we're still in combo. No, we should return true because we're still in combo mode. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now this is a lot simpler from this function standpoint. And now this handles everything that is combo. Okay, cool. Okay, let's add T here as well. Oh yeah, it can be an error, so I guess if it's an error, we also return. I wish we could handle the error in combo, because it's not really supposed to be, I guess, handled outside. Like, I wish there was a way to sort of just catch it in here. I guess maybe you could make like a scope. Is that possible? Like, let's say you do a scope like this. Okay. So now this scope is the one that is supposed to have the error, right? Or, and then can we have a catch? Return true. I mean, you could also put this in another function. that has the error. And then from here you would say return handle combo input inner. And we catch return true. I don't really like it. It just seems like unnecessary extra steps. Maybe there's a way to catch. I'm just gonna look through sig catch, I guess. Like, it's always in the context of calling a function, it feels like. So here's catch. And here, right. So here's like an example of a function that returns an error, possible error. So if you have if and then you catch the thing, that means that the error didn't happen. So in here, it goes in here if the error didn't happen. But then you catch the error like this. So it's just another way of, you know, dealing with the error. I mean, you could do this as well. And instead of return error, you can just have a block here that you do the same thing over here. To me, that's the exact same thing. It's just different syntax. Well, I guess it's not really exact the same thing because this is a different block over here, but it's sort of the same thing. If you just want the value out, then you do this. But if you want to execute a bunch of code based on this, you do this, I guess. Okay, anyway. I wanted to check if there was another way to actually handle it. Defer and happens when there's an error, which is really nice. You can sort of clean up after there, like if you allocate a bunch of resources during something and you're also checking for failures, if there's an error, you can use error defer to deallocate the used resources, which is really nice because then you don't have to, you know, at each step where it can be an error, you don't have to worry about keeping track of everything that you need to do there. You just do an error defer after each thing you allocate. Capture error. Captured pointer to a nullable any error or optional any error. Returns an error void. Okay. And then we error defer on and we capture the error and we set the thing to error. Wait, what's happening here? we return error.general failure. Right, so we return this error, and when that happens, it captures this error and sets the error over here. Capture error captured. Right. So in the good case, it's unreachable because it's always error. Because this returns the error or general failure. Otherwise, we get the error here. General failure should be capture and the error as well. Okay, it's just showing, you know, I don't know what is happening here. If this is like a feasible way of doing things, but it's just showing that you can capture the error here. All right. Right, so what I'm thinking that you could do is you could sort of store. Well, we can't do the error defer, I guess, in the scope. Like let's say we have this is not returning an error, but then we have a scope in here, and we say error defer in the scope, right? And then we say result is equal to this. And when we return, instead we do break. I guess we would have to say, like, instead of try, we will do, because try, I mean, yeah, try is returning the error. Yeah. So try is like equivalent to if this is an error, or if this is going well, then do the rest of the stuff. Otherwise, we return the error. Whatever. We'll just have to live with it being a separate function here. Except this one does not return an error. There we go. And you are now not. Error, there we go. And I mean, I don't really like this, but that's how it is. Climbing. So what is this code? This is like when we enter climb mode, I think. We're checking for intersection. We're checking if the climb is not active or if we're not climbing, but we want to start potentially climbing. So we're checking for intersections. We're finding a ladder. We are, yeah. If we get a ladder, we check if we are currently able to climb on the ladder, and then we engage with actually climbing the ladder. So we're not, well, we're doing return here, which means what? If climb up was on and the bottom is less than or equal to the top of the ladder, we return. Oh, is that if you're at the top of the ladder? Yeah, I mean, we can have like handle enter climb mode. Since there's a return there, I would also have like an if this is true, we return as well. And we'll move all of this, whoops, into there. Where did, oh, this is handle combo, okay. So handle enter climb mode. It returns a bool. Oops. And so we need player components. Physics system, I guess. is climb input on. Player body. Game. Okay. Let's also add the registry. I mean, I guess we don't really need to pass all this. We can just get it. Player body and player component is nice to have, and is climb input on. And this up climb. Okay. And T, of course. Right, and so this would return true there. And like otherwise, return false. Returns true if player input should be skipped, I guess. Like I don't really remember why we have to return true here, or why we have to return here. So if we're trying, the whole thing is here if you're trying to climb a ladder when you're not climbing a ladder. And so we actually find a ladder to climb that is in the range. We also check here if we are currently, if the bottom of the player is less than or equal to the top of the ladder plus some threshold. So basically it means that we're basically checking the Y position here. Oh yeah, we're checking the, oh yeah. So we're checking the Y position. Right. If we are sort of, no, if the bottom is less than or equal to top plus threshold. Which means it's above. That's right. It means it's above. So, and if the up is on, we return here. So basically we don't do anything in that case. And we don't really need to skip the rest. I mean, we could just return. We don't really need to have a bool at this point here. Let's call this state instead to make it more in line with the vocabulary here. And we don't need to return false here either. There we go. So it's basically like, okay, don't enter climb state in this specific scenario. I feel like this could also be a bit, all this could be sort of handle movement. All of this could be sort of, yeah, just handle movement of the player. While this part down here is like, well, I guess it's still movement when, you know, technically movement. Well, it handles sort of these things. We have a apply force, apply impulse, but we also have jump. This also changes the velocity and states in some cases here. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. Right, and then down here is like, it's very clearly, this is the attack section where we handle the attacks. So we could technically move this into its own sort of function as well. And then at the end we have like a catch all set state to idle if certain things are true, just to see if, yeah, like in certain cases we set the state back to idle. All right, well, I think that's gonna be enough for that for now. Yeah, it feels like we did a lot of nice updates to the system here. Oh yeah, that's right, we need to actually grab these things. Let's do it here. This is direction, and also rigid body should be horizontal direction. There we go. This is interesting. Like, I think I ran into some sort of limitation in Zig, or I'm not really sure what it was, but I basically had one giant function that had like a huge amount of variables in it, and it ended up not working. And I'm not sure if it was, and I was really confused. I'm not sure if it was the case of having too many variables or if it was me just messing up. But once I refactored a little bit and moved things into their own functions, you know, and called those functions, then it all worked. And I was pretty sure that it was some sort of limitation, because it was, I had like, I don't know, I had a huge amount of things in one function until it like broke. I feel like it's starting to get there here. Look at all these consts here. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, okay, but yeah, I just wanted to get in and do some little bit of maintenance. We fixed the input bug, so I'm not sure if I put that down somewhere. When jumping while ducking, press left, right, duck. No, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll test this and see if it's still an issue now with the update. No, I don't think I wrote that down, but we did fix it, so great. Quest process not stored, so this is actually fixed right now. There was a bug where the quest progress was like reset, and it was because of some code update that was bad, so that was fixed. Alright, but anyway, that's gonna do it for this time. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'll maybe come back to this evening. I won't promise anything, because I know that each time I promise, it feels so bad when I don't follow through with it. So yeah, but anyway, have a nice day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.